to the Skyrim Olympics. I'm Richard Satchel and boy oh boy we've got a great tournament matchup with all 9 holds involved including the guards of I vs 10. 10 guards from 10 cities to see who has the hilarious capability of winning the most events and take home glory and honor home to their jarls. I'm here sitting with Scrappy Johansson. Scrappy?
Richard Satchel was it? Thanks. Today we will see the teams randomly separated into a bracket of 10 to see who makes the cut in how should you say, long jump. It should prove quite brutal for the guards. A Fuchs radar and Kaboom 700% stronger than they think it will be. Unrelenting force indeed.
Did you say 700% Johansson? Jesus. Let's see how they fare getting blasted into the air.
It's Johansson, like Jarls. Why the hard letter J, Richard? Let's look at the generated bracket and see what we've got. 2 bye rounds for bottom of the bracket quarterfinal, and semi-final for the top bracket. Hopefully they can take the time to get well rested up, maybe drink a potion or 2 and take advantage of the poor 4 with no bye. Dawnstar up first.
This is going to be great. Fuchs radar and here we go sailing. Dawnstar really went up high. He's really sailing. Coming down now fast. Oh man. That had to hurt. Although the rock could have cost him
Morthal
distance.
now with a go at it. Also a bit high as well. Look at him go. Oh, and now he's dropping like a rock. Breakneck action and the same rock.
Oh,
and he gets
man.
the skid for distance. That is a Morthal victory.
He really used that neck reflex breaking it off the ground like that to push past the rock. Solitude up now to shine. Also a bit on the high side. He is gonna float up there. Hopefully good ground action and he just falls in a heap of crushed bones and dreams.
Jesus Christ.
No action.
A heap indeed. Here's the I vs Ted guard being plucked from his scuffle over a sweet roll. Up to the launch rock. Hopefully I vs Ted understands he needs to stay lower for better distance.
I vs Ted seems like he is gonna fly high, too. Seems he'd make a great kite if we knew he wasn't going to crash. And he does hard into the rocks and the texture stops a slide.
That is an I vs Ted victory. Just a better trajectory off get-go it seems. After 2 rounds, let's take a look at the bracket.
Morthal and I vs Ted getting the bye on the next round. They really need to push past these trees and hills to take this event.
Whiterun looking to prove themselves against Windhelm. Instead, shanked left. Incredibly high left that will be dropping hard.
Oh,
He'll maybe in
time.
play the bounce and the tree.
Brokeback Mountain with a bit of Gumby on the tree to boot.
The Windhelm guard now being plucked from her skirmish. Whiterun was afraid of her because she could do kegels.
Makes sense from Windhelm. Just not wind from a helm. And she's got a much nicer trajectory. No air bounce needed. Oh and the tree. The trees are just killing the distance for these competitors.
Whiterun victory. Barely. The trees are dominating.
Rift Hen afloat ready for a ride. Wind up and bang. Seems like a much better trajectory than the last 4 competitors. Passing the trees.
That
Incredible
has
ground action,
got
1 full aerial
to
and finished in a
hurt.
crumpled mess.
Let's take it back slower here and look at that. Great ground action from Rift 10. Tall order for Markarth here. Markarth fires off. And they didn't pay attention to Rift 10. Really high up there. Hard crash coming at that angle, also amazing ground action, but the tree stops advancement and that isn't easy. Rift 10 victory.
I'm sure Markarth isn't happy with that one. Let's turn to Falkreath and see if we can get anything better. And we're off. Falkreath looks like they learned from Rift 10 here. Passing the trees. Landing and his head off the
Jesus
rocks,
Christ.
sliding and skipping and splash. Wow. This is what we are here for, folks.
Look at this incredible brain-shattering landing to propel himself forward. And look at that, in his near-death state of a squashed skull manages to skip the small alcove of the pond for the extra meters. What a good show by Falkreath here.
I could not have said it better, Scrappy. Let's see how Winterhold responds as they find the trajectory to beat that Falkreath. On a similar path like Falkreath. This could be good. Riding over the trees far. He needs to watch for the mammoth and rocks down the way. Misses the mammoth and rocks and slides. So close but looks just short.
Falkreath takes the victory there with the furthest jump we have seen thus far. Great first round everyone but Markarth. Let's look at the bracket and see what's up next. Whiterun faces Riften to start round 2. Whiterun narrowly made their victory last time. What are your thoughts, Richard?
I think if Whiterun doesn't shank their shot again, they may have a chance to play with the mud crabs. I just want to see these guards maneuver themselves across the ground as they get brutalized by this unrelenting force.
Brutal indeed, Richard. Moving on to round 2. What does Whiterun have in store for us? Hi again. It seems they didn't learn. Maybe backside hill action?
Oh, through the
No,
neck.
just a crumpled mess of failure as his bow pierces his throat. What a failure.
Riften just needs their previous performance to succeed here. Almost a line drive. He's good as long as he clears the trees. Coming down to the backside of the hill and the skip and slide.
Bongo.
Playing with the mud crabs again but a little more wet. Moving on to the quarterfinals.
Taking a look at this bracket. Morthal will be up next. Looks like a line drive. Sailing over the trees. This could be it.
Oh,
Slide and
crunch time.
skips like a rock. Well done. Tough to follow up for Iverstead.
Iverstead really needs to clear these trees. Really high up there. May not have what it takes. Hopefully good ground action. Not as good as he'd hoped. Going to be short of Morthal in the quarterfinal here.
Morthal gets to rest here as Riften and Falkreath duke it out in the semi-final of this event. The guards have been brutalized, smashed, crashed, crushed and bashed. All this honor better be worth it from these Jarls. Sit tight as we move to the Riften guard getting ready for takeoff.
Riften prepping up. Can they get the trajectory down 2 more times? Here comes the jump. A nice angle leaving the platform. Should clear the trees pretty easily. Catches a
Jesus
rock
Christ,
for a nice
that
slide and uses his
has
right side as a
got
bouncing buffer
to
to roll down and a nice skid down with buffering grass. Great launch there.
Falkreath is going to really need to step it up. I don't know if that angle will get him where he needs to go. Looking for serious ground action here.
That rock.
It is serious.
Oh,
The
man.
tall rock stifles any forward advancement and snuffs out Falkreath as a contender. Riften victory.
Bracket is up. Morthal is looking at Riften after a nice buy round. Hopefully it plays to their advantage. I just want to see these guards do everything they can to win. What a matchup. Both competitors are looking good. They will want to take the back hill, as we have seen, and ride it down tree and rock free unless you can do the skull smash dance.
Both men looking quite dapper for their reckoning. All or nothing now, boys. How will it go? Morthal will be up first. Preparing to go to the cliff and over the rock. The last look at the outcropping before the blast off.
I am about to jump out of my socks. Let's go. Morthal needs to deliver here as Riften has really been a class act. Getting ready. Really honing in on that angle here. Launching. Great trajectory here. This jump could be the one. Such air time. Skull smash dance as he slides across his face. Slides on his back and rolls when it counts. Scrappy, this is the pinnacle of long jump. Incredibles.
That brutal half-conscious slide across his face we see slows down here. As Richard said, this is Incredibles. How he managed to contort himself from his slushy skull in that helmet to his back and rolling down the hill. Jarl Ravencrone better fix up that guard with reconstructive surgery if he wins, or he will be slush skull the wobbly. Morthal's move makes the underdog look strong. Riften to launch. Fusrowan maybe too high up there. Looks like he'll get by the trees. A skip landing and ramping off the small rock and slides to a roll. He has stopped. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Morph Arl slips in over the favorite, Rift 10 for the victory.
Let's see that Rift 10 landing one more time. If he wasn't so high up there, that landing skid would have gotten him the full dance. He scored a sludgy landing and not much of a slide, handing it over to Morthal. What an amazing display of the unrelenting jump today. Can't wait for the next events. Mountain drop, juggling, and arena fighting are all yet to come in the Skyrim Olympics. Please like and subscribe so Johansson and I can know to keep making content, isn't that right, Scrappy?
Absolutely. You must like and subscribe for the Dragonborn to consider having us on again. And for God's sake, Richard, it's Johansson. Why do you always pronounce the J so hard?
Because I know a woman who pronounces it that way, Scrappy Dappy Doo.
Richard, you don't know Scarlet, and I don't care. Mine is Johansson. Your name is Richard Satchel. You know what words I can replace that with?
Okay, Scrappy. I get your point.
Till the next time everybody, Foos Rodar.